everybody, and welcome back to Veggie Vero's Kids Corner. I'm your host, Veronica Green. I am back today with another delicious recipe for you. This is a super easy one. It's straight out of my recipe book, Cooking with Veggie Vero, a children's recipe book of very easy plant-based snacks that kids can make on their own. So today we're going to be making stuffed bell pepper. Now this is a delicious and super easy recipe. I do recommend using the mini bell peppers if you have them, because you can just clean out the inside, and when you stuff them, and it's like a perfect little bite size. If you only have a large one like I do, we're gonna cut it into strips and it'll be more like a bell pepper boat. So that's fun too, all right? So I'm gonna put the bell pepper aside for a minute. Let's start with making the stuffing, the stuff that's gonna go on the inside of the bell pepper, all right? Now, you'll need a bowl and a scoop of hummus, okay? Preferably just a plain unflavored hummus, but use whatever you have. And I like to just take one big heaping spoonful. Depending on how much you're making, you might want to add some more. So I'll put 2 spoonfuls. All right, now you're gonna take your cilantro. If you're following along with the cookbook at home, you can open up the page and see the different quantities, but honestly, this type of thing, the quantities don't matter so much. It's kind of just however you like it. If you do a taste test and you feel like it needs a little bit more, cilantro, you can just add it in. Certain recipes, the quantities really matter. This one, you can sort of wing it. So I'm just putting a little cilantro. I'm breaking it apart with my fingers. Kind of like a lot of cilantro. It's one of my favorite herbs. All right. So far you have hummus and cilantro. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and take some lime. You can substitute with lemon if that's all you have. Make sure that you have help from an adult using the knife if you need help. Go ahead and give that a nice squeeze. All right, looking good. So now, the next thing you're gonna want is some black beans. So I actually have some leftover black beans that I had used in a different recipe the other night, and this is a perfect opportunity to use some of them up. So I'm just gonna put a couple spoonfuls here. All right, you can see you have your hummus, cilantro, lime, and black beans. It's looking good, it's smelling good. Now I have here some corn and I also have some quinoa. So of course this is optional if you want to swap out the quinoa with brown rice. Some people don't like quinoa. Personally, I love it and it's such a healthy food. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a few spoonfuls of quinoa and a couple scoops of corn. Make sure you're using organic corn. And you can omit this if if you're not into corn, that's totally fine. I really like it in this particular recipe. It gives it like a little pop of freshness. All right, there we go. Now I'm mixing it all up. And you want it to be thick, but not too thick. It should have quite a bit of moisture from the lime. And I have some salt here. Now you probably don't need to use a lot of salt because the hummus usually already has some salt. So go ahead and give it a taste test and you can decide whether or not you need to add any salt. I mean, honestly, I don't even need it, so I'm gonna leave it out. The last ingredient that I have is a green onion. You can use regular onion if you want, but regular onions do, tend to be a little bit hard on the eyes as far as burning and crying goes with little ones. So green onion is a great way to avoid that. And I'm just ripping them up with my finger, a few pieces. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit more cilantro. Now, the cilantro and the green onion are both fresh from the garden. I just harvested them myself. If you're not familiar with my page and my previous videos, I also teach classes here at the Delray Beach Children's Garden, and it is my happy place. So I love harvesting fresh herbs and veggies from the garden to use in my recipes. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. It's perfect. It's so good, actually. Okay. So now, let's move on to our pepper. Like I said, if you have a mini bell pepper, go ahead and just clean out the inside very carefully with a, using probably a knife to gently clean out the inside, or maybe a spoon, just carefully scrape it out. If you only have a large one like this, use your knife to cut off. Okay, put that to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it along the edge of just the natural groove that's there on the bell pepper, okay? There we go. And then lastly, you wanna get rid of this kind of white inner part and any like seeds that are just floating around in there. We're gonna get those out. And by the way, you can of course put the seeds aside, dry them out and plant them. So you can start growing your own peppers. And there we go. Once it's all cleaned out, it'll look like that. And I'm gonna just take some scoops of our filling that we made, put it right on there. And there you go. It is a bell pepper boat. And it is so delicious. You guys have to try this at home. It's so easy. I mean, that took less than 5 minutes to make. It's simple, it's tasty, and it is nutritious. The hummus is made from chickpeas, of course, so you're getting lots of protein, also protein from the black beans. You have the cilantro, you're getting some greens, some fresh herbs, the green onion, the corn. It's all plant-based. Mother Earth gives us everything we need to thrive, so take advantage. You guys gotta try this. So good. So that is the stuffed bell peppers from my book, Cooking with Veggie Vero. And there's lots of other easy recipes just like this inside this book. If you want to get a copy for yourself, it's always available on my website, veggievero.com. And of course, I will sign it for you and ship it out. Make sure you leave me a note about who to sign it to so I can personalize the message. And yeah, that's it. Happy cooking, everyone.